But sir, did you have marijuana in her car?
And yes,
wait,
I do.
Wait.
I do.
Answer my question, yes or no. Did you have marijuana in her car?
She held onto all my equipment.
For collateral.
She hasn't given it back to me. I can't work.
Sir, I'm asking the question, okay? This is my courtroom.
Okay, let's be honest, Your Honor. If you drink a 6-pack of beer and you go out driving, you're probably gonna get yourself in trouble. If you smoke a little bit, not only is it road certificate,
Not only do you have problems with your eyes, you're ignorant.
And that's what helps, though.
Yeah.
Ladies and going into with Justice Jackie. I see the
It's like you're a real liar. In Louisiana, we say, show me something. You all are in Justice Jackie's courtroom. Judgment for the plaintiff. Drugs. If I had my way, I'd put you in jail right now. Wait, hold up. And you will be casting this judgment for the people, by Justice Jackie.
Cameras up. Case in court. Take one. Action.
The plaintiff is suing her roommate for lost wages and a $500 traffic ticket.
I'm in litigation suing my former roommate for my lost wages and my $500 ticket fine.
She says her roommate was irresponsible and reckless and wants him to pay. She wants her money, not his weed.
He is due in court today, and I want my money, and he will pay.
The defendant says he's trying to recover his camera equipment from his former roommate.
I'm here as a defendant today. I'm here with my old roommate, real nice lady. I feel kind of bad that she got the short end of the stick, so to speak.
He says he's the victim because he has a medical condition and it's legal for him to smoke marijuana.
The marijuana laws here in this state are ridiculous and quaint.
Cajun Court TV starts right now.
Cajun Court is now in session. There'll be no chewing, no talking, no cell phones. The Honorable Justice Jackie is presiding. All the litigants have been sworn in. This is case number 313, the Weed Wagon.
Our first case for the day is we have some former roommates. Okay, plaintiff, we'll start with you. How did you all become roommates?
I placed an ad in Craigslist, and Kevin answered it, and I rented a room in my home to him for 3 months.
And so why were you needing a roommate?
I needed the money,
And so how much were you charging him each month?
$300.
And so you're here before this court, you're wanting, it seemed like there was some action going on where you allowed him to borrow your car?
His car was in the shop, so I gave him a time limit. He knew I had to go to the movies, and I gave him a time limit to be back in time, and he was 15 minutes late.
I didn't do that on purpose.
Let me ask you something. How did you get to Shreveport? Why were you coming to Shreveport?
Well, I'm a cameraman. I came into work for a couple months. I really didn't want to rent an apartment, and the hotel's too expensive. So I was fortunate enough to find it, I guess if you could call it.
So you searched on Craigslist and you saw the advertisement and you decided to rent a room from her?
Yes, ma'am.
And so how long did you rent? Had you been renting from her?
Well, initially it was supposed to be for 3 months, but she kicked me out. She pretty much just threw me out after the incident that had happened. And matter of fact, she held on to all my equipment. We got into an argument. She threw me out. She really didn't even give me a notice. And at this point,
I didn't get a notice when I got arrested.
I understand from your pleading you said something about there was a strong odor. So did you know, if you've never done it, but do you know how it smells?
That's a good question, Your Honor.
No, because it was just a marijuana. Will they call it a stick or something? It wasn't lit.
Well, now, were you needing a roommate for money or did you need companionship?
No.
You know, Your Honor, I will say it's kind of a blessing that she did kick me out because there was a couple of times that I felt personally very uncomfortable in the situation.
Excuse me, really?
Ma'am, let me ask some questions, please. How many bedrooms did you have?
I have 3.
Okay.
It's rather a large home because I have 2 dogs, too.
And so tell me about this car. You allowed him to use your car?
I allowed him to use my car because his car was in the shop, but I told him to come back at a certain time because I was going to a movie with a friend. Can I tell you what happened, Your Honor?
Well, proceed. It is your case.
Okay, so I was 15 minutes late. So I'm leaving, and I got waved over by a security cop at the mall. Because maybe I went 5 miles over the speed limit.
See,
But
we wouldn't even be here.
The dog,
Wait a minute, sir, it is her case. Let her finish, okay?
the policeman's dog alerted on something in my car, and he asked for permission to search my car. Well, sure, I didn't care. I don't have nothing to hide. Well, he alerted on a backpack, his backpack, in the back seat of my station wagon,
And you wasn't
there was
aware?
weed in there.
You wasn't aware that he had a backpack in your
No,
car?
ma'am, because
Had you
I
allowed
was
him to
running
use
late
your-
because he caused me late to go to the movies, so I wasn't aware there was anything in my back seat. No, ma'am.
So was it customary for him to borrow your car? Is this the first time?
This is the second time.
The K9 smelled something in your car.
Yes,
You
Your Honor.
allowed the officer to search. You gave consent.
Yes.
The dog sniffed the drugs out.
Yes.
And what happened after that?
They arrested me
Okay, for what?
for possession
Of what?
of a narcotic. Is it Schedule 1? I don't know. I've never done marijuana.
Okay.
Unlike Kevin, which I'm sure this
Well-
is not his first rodeo.
Well, I understand from your pleading you said something about there was a strong odor. So did you know, you've never done it, but do you know how to smell?
That's a good question, Your Honor.
I've never, no, because it was just a marijuana. Is it? Will they call it a stick or something? It wasn't lit.
Well, it wasn't a special smell in your car?
And it was just a little bit of pot, Your Honor. I mean, pot really truly is a benign substance.
So you admit that you did have pot in her car.
Well, I
Just a
want to say
second,
it was a
ma'am.
slight oversight.
So ma'am, you get arrested.
Yes, ma'am.
You go to jail?
Yes, ma'am. I went to jail, but of course I bonded out. I was frisked. Your Honor, I have never been in trouble before.
So you went to jail, and then what happened after that? Did you go to court?
I went to court,
And what happened?
$500 fine for my ticket, first of all, for speeding, $500 fine for the marijuana.
Ma'am,
Here is the court papers, Your Honor.
And ma'am, you say you've never been arrested before?
No, ma'am.
You ever got speeding tickets before?
No, ma'am. I've never even had a parking ticket. Have you, Kevin?
And looks like it was there was a crime lab report on this as well. This is your discovery that shows a conviction, and it's
Yes, ma'am.
natural marijuana, and it's not the synthetic stuff. So you got a fine of $500, and you got a speeding ticket.
Yes, ma'am.
So your total, it says here you paid $1,000 in fine and costs.
That's ridiculous.
Sir, you speak when you are spoken to.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I add, I am a 20-year career nurse, and my job is on the line. And I have to report to a nursing review board in 1 month.
And all because of this,
Yes, ma'am, all because of him.
because you allowed someone off of Craigslist to live within your home. Did you know him before that time?
Yes, ma'am, I have, but I've never had problems before renting to
Oh, so
someone
you
through
knew
Craigslist.
of him?
I've done this before through Craigslist.
Oh, not just him, someone else.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that, well, that's not before the court, but that sounds irresponsible. Sir, you borrowed a car.
Yes, Your Honor. I borrowed her vehicle. As I mentioned, I had to cash my check, and I went to pick up something to eat. I got a pizza for us to share, and her friend. I invited her friend also. They were both pretty upset, I guess, and they
But sir,
declined it.
did you have marijuana in her car?
Well, I will say it was my bag, and yes,
wait,
I do.
Wait.
I do.
Answer my question, yes or
well,
no. Did you have marijuana in her car?
Her job is at jeopardy, but this is truly. We're both victims here.
Oh, wait a minute, sir. Well, we're not talking about you as a victim.
Well,
right?
I mean, I'm suffered as well. She held on to all my equipment, which she's denied
For
to give. She
collateral.
hasn't given it back to me. I can't work.
Sir, I'm asking a question, okay? This is
sir.
my courtroom.
Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor. But I don't appreciate being framed this way. I've always been a law.
So it was your marijuana and not hers?
Yes,
so
Your Honor,
she
but-
took a charge for your marijuana.
Excuse
But
me?
I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm from Colorado,
Law?
and I have a medical card. I have glaucoma, so I am a law-abiding
This
citizen.
is not La La
it's-
Land. This is Louisiana.
Well, what I'm saying, this truly, I understand that she's in a tough position and that her job is at jeopardy, but this is truly, we're both victims here.
Oh, wait a minute, sir. Well, we're not talking about you as a
Well,
victim.
I mean, I'm suffered as well. She held on to all my equipment, which she's denied
For
to give. She
collateral.
hasn't given it back to me. I can't work.
Sir, I'm asking the questions, okay?
Yes,
This is
Your Honor.
my courtroom, okay? You have not had your opportunity to speak as a defendant, but I want to ask about this medical marijuana.
Yes, ma'am.
So you realize you're in Louisiana.
Yes, ma'am.
You're in Shreveport, Louisiana at that.
Well,
And marijuana is illegal.
Well, unfortunately, that's the main reason why I am from Louisiana, and that's the main reason why I relocated to Colorado.
Oh, so you went up there so you can get it. You got glaucoma, and so you can get marijuana legally, and then you bring it back here, and then.
To be quite honest, Your Honor, I think if she really has, and I understand she's in a tough position, but if her job's really in jeopardy, instead of coming to court and dealing it this way, she could have just let me pay for it if she would have not taken my camera, and she should really lobby. She should really lobby her state representative.
And how would I trust you? Sometimes you're late on the rent. You were late last month.
Excuse me. You all are being disrespectful. I'm talking. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry.
The court. She got arrested, and she's a nurse, as she's mentioned. And ma'am, understand that according to your pleading, you pled guilty to the charge. Now, I can't take that back, but I mean, I'm wondering why you pled guilty. You weren't guilty, but it was in your car.
And I remind Your Honor, I'm sorry if I may, we would never be in this position had she had followed the law from the beginning.
She got a ticket. Of course, yeah, she was speeding. The officer had probable cause to stop her.
I want my money. I want him to pay the $500 fine.
So, ma'am, you pled no contest
Yes,
to the
ma'am.
charge. However, you received a $1,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in your pleading, you only asked for $500 plus the $1,500 for your lost wages. And let me state that when you file a claim, you need to include everything you want in your petition. Now, it doesn't state that you want $1,000 plus the $1,500, but we'll address that later.
Okay, let's be honest, Your Honor. If you drink a 6-pack of beer and you go out driving, you're probably gonna get yourself in trouble. If you smoke a little bit, not only is it good for my glaucoma, like I said, I also have a grower's certificate.
Not only do you have problems with your eyes, you're ignorant.
And that's what helps, though.
Yeah.
I don't.
And you also mentioned that you have to go before the nursing board.
Yes, ma'am.
And there's
in
a
1 month.
disciplinary action as a result of being
Yes,
arrested
ma'am.
and pleading
I'm
no
in jeopardy of
contest.
losing my job.
And how long have you worked as a nurse?
20 years.
And where do you work? You work at a hospital, a nursing home? Or?
I work in the hospital, in the pediatric unit.
And so you deal with human life, you deal with individuals, so you can't have
I
any
deal with the
blemishes on your
birth
record.
of life. I deal with young babies. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So I would think you're a smart woman, 20 years experience, and you go on Craigslist and you invite someone into your home and you're subject to this. Sir?
Well, I won't do it again.
I think you've learned a valuable lesson
Yes,
here.
ma'am.
Why can't you pay her the money?
Well, Your Honor, I can appreciate that she's in a tough position. That she's worried about her job and she had to look for a new roommate. But I'm in a tough spot too. Oh,
tell me. I want to hear this one.
She held onto my camera. I went out to look for another place after she got mad at me. She yelled at me.
Oh,
We had
I'm
an
not that
argument.
stupid.
I went out looking for another place.
For collateral.
And then and when I came back, she changed the locks. I called her.
course.
I left her. I don't know how many messages. I sent her text messages. I tried to contact her through Facebook.
No,
she
you
didn't
didn't.
answer. She didn't give me.
No, you didn't.
She still has all my camera equipment.
When I got arrested, I blocked
I
you
got
from
$3,000
Facebook.
worth of camera equipment in her house still that I cannot use, and I can't make money to pay her the things that say that what she says I owe her.
I don't advocate violence, and I never have, and I know that violence is not the
You know, I can appreciate.
But
I'm sorry. I can sympathize that she's in a tough spot, and I do acknowledge that I don't deny that I have to that I'm responsible for some of the fines.
Yes, you are.
So I don't think I'm responsible for all of them, but okay, I am responsible for some of them. I'm
You have
not
a certificate
denying that I owe her
to have
some of this
marijuana.
money. Yes, ma'am. Which, let's be honest, it's a benign drug.
You're clear in Colorado, but not in Louisiana.
I think it would be much more egregious had I left a 6-pack of beer in the back seat. Okay, let's be honest, Your Honor. If you drink a 6-pack of beer and you go out driving, you're probably going to get yourself in trouble. If you smoke a little bit, not only is it good for my glaucoma, like I said, I also have a grower certificate.
Not
if you
only
can see.
only do you have problems with your eyes, you're ignorant.
And that's what helps, though.
Yeah.
I don't.
I tell you what, I've had enough of this. This is ridiculous. Now, if you want to use marijuana and leave it in the car, you need to go back to Colorado. You need to get out of Louisiana.
Go back to La La Land.
And ma'am, you should have more sense in getting somebody off of Craigslist. And your 20
ma'am.
years of experience will be down the drain.
Yes, ma'am.
So I can't believe that you come to Louisiana and put someone in a precarious situation. Their livelihood is in jeopardy because of something
Exactly.
stupid.
All over ridiculous laws.
Yeah.
I mean,
you should
really, the only reason medical marijuana
maybe you
is.
should have run for office so that you can go to the legislature somewhere.
Your
so you
Honor,
you can make laws.
That's why I moved out of Louisiana, because I don't appreciate the quaint laws. And I really feel that if this is affecting her life so much so, she should truly lobby government, lobby her state representative to, excuse me,
It's a
to update
scheduled
the law,
narcotic.
to make the laws a little more progressive,
But
to allow
until that
folks
time-
such as myself
until that
who are
time-
suffering. Look, I also have a picture of all my equipment. I had cameras, film, a lot of editing software. She's refused to give it any of that back, and I can't make
Until
any money.
I get my money back.
Well, I can appreciate that. I understand
tell you what.
she's
You better
out some money, and
appreciate it.
I will pay, but I need my camera,
And I
my
don't even
camera equipment
understand
to do
this.
it.
This is some old equipment. This not even this equipment is.
Your Honor, I also need $400 for my moving.
It's not. It's,
I
it's
had to
not in
move
your complaint.
abruptly, and the place I went to, it cost me
I
more.
tell you what, I've had enough of this.
Heard enough, too.
This is ridiculous. Now, if you want to use marijuana and leave it in the car, you need to go back to Colorado. You need to get out of Louisiana.
Go back to La La Land.
And ma'am, your 20
ma'am.
years of experience could be down the drain
Yes, ma'am.
over 3 months. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you the $500 plus the $1,500. Now, tell you what, you can't take the law into your own hands by taking his goods.
That's right.
I told you once, I'm talking. I know you look at me, I don't know what's wrong with your eyes. I know you have glaucoma. I don't know if you've been treated lately.
I doubt
But you don't know
that.
who you're messing with. This is Cajun Court.
I apologize, Your Honor.
And what you need to do, this old equipment. And maybe you've been smoking too much to see. And to understand.
I think so.
I'm going to deny your claim. And as far as you're living somewhere, $400 a month, I'm not going to have her pay that.
Well, Your Honor, well, may I at
Judgment
least have
for
a
the
payment plan?
plaintiff.
I can't.
Thank you, Your Honor.